Hello.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kobe Smith, and I'm the Small Business Support Specialist here at the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. We are doing another one of our small business webinar series, and I am here with Julia Gambale, who is the marketing coordinator at Known Coworking in New Haven, Connecticut, one of our strategic partners. And today she's going to go over how to use artificial intelligence as a marketing tool. Julia, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So my name's Julia Gambale. I've had my own business for 15 years now, She's So Social, and I am also I run the operations for Known Coworking, and I do their marketing as well. I've been using AI. Actually, we've all been using AI a lot longer than I think we we know. So I wanted to start by sharing just a little bit about the history of AI as well. And so I'm just going to pop this up right now, my little presentation. Um, so artificial intelligence is really such a powerful marketing tool, and I've personally just really been having a lot of fun utilizing it and teaching people about AI. People are mostly familiar with tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney for creating images, Dolly also for creating images. There's tools for creating video and that sort of thing. But I want to back up just a little bit about that and just go on to our next slide. Um, so AI can just really make streamlining your marketing efforts, especially if you're a solopreneur, if you have a small team, even if you have a big team or an agency working for you, it really kind of helps you streamline processes in many different ways, including providing insights, allowing business owners to focus on growth and strategy while improving efficiency. So, kind of being able to scale up. But in order to do that, you as the business owner are going to have to have some things in place. And we're talking specifically about marketing now. And I've done workshops about, this already many, many times. And so I just wanted to kind of work through what that looks like. So I think a lot of people still have been pretty tentative about AI, but it's really been around since the 1950s. And nowadays it's been so integrated into our daily lives, and we hardly even remember that we're using it. In a lot of ways, it's very much integrated into the tools that we already use, right? Many of us talk about in Facebook, we have Meta AI, Grammarly has an AI. When we're running meetings, we're utilizing either Read AI or Otter AI. And then you have Alexa or Siri. Um, but it's been around and iterated and generated and grew from the 1950s. So one of the probably more famous milestones was when Deep Blue, actually the AI generation that played chess with the very famous chess player Gary Kasparov. And then IBM had Watson, and everybody was talking about Watson. There was breakthrough in deep learning, and all of this just means that this machine learning is just iterating and anticipating what's next in a series, what's the next possible answer. So with keeping that in mind, one of the things that I wanted to just make sure of before going into how AI is being used is to just make sure that you are solid in your brand first, because that's really going to dictate the outcome of how these tools are being used for your business. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that you dust off your brand standards manual. and you want to review that. And if you don't have a brand standards manual, you could actually get help from AI to create one. I've actually helped people do their business plan and their marketing plans utilizing AI prompts and building out. And one of the things we're going to talk about later is that the more detail that you provide in your prompts, the more that you kind of paint that picture about what your brand is, the better the results are going to be for every step of your marketing efforts. And the other thing too to just remember is to make sure that your team knows and lives your brand as well. I know that one of the fears is often that somebody's job is going to be taken away by AI, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It actually enhances our ability to do our jobs and to be creative and to be innovative as well. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So how do we maintain brand voice in an AI situation? That's another thing before we even get started into the tools to really think about. So some of the strategies for maintaining your voice is to just provide guidelines for training AI models and AI twins and bots on your brand's specific style guide, tone, and language. And you can do that with voice, you can do that with visuals, you can do that with text, and you can do that with video as well. So really making sure that you, again, previous slide, you are really sure about what you're doing within your brand. Consistently review and edit AI generated content to ensure it aligns with your brand voice. Again, this is something where you and your team each should be very clear about what that brand voice is and how that runs through everything from how you communicate to customer service, and develop ways to blend AI generated content with human written content to maintain that personal touch. So create processes and cycles. If you start with a plan outline, or if you start with a campaign and what you are envisioning your advertising looks like, that would all be human written. And then move on to AI to expand and expound upon that advertising, and then see what comes back, and then tweak that. Conduct A/B testing to gauge audience response to AI-powered marketing versus human-created content, and then monitor metrics like engagement, conversion rates, and customer feedback to assess the impact on brand perception. So what are some ways that AI can help every step of your marketing strategy? I put this slide in here just to be sure that we know what we're talking about when we talk about marketing strategy, a marketing plan, and a marketing campaign. A lot of times people will use this interchangeably, and it's really three very different, distinct items. So first and foremost, I really love the idea, the concept of and being able to utilize AI for market research. And when we're realizing that harnessing AI effectively for market research hinges on posing the correct questions, we're going to be talking about prompts a lot, and analyzing that data ourselves with a discerning perspective. So what does that mean in real talk? It just means know what questions to ask and let AI do the work for you. And in this case, when we're doing market research, it's really not very much different than doing a Google search. However, we are grabbing from very specific areas, and we're getting data. And not only that, but we're able to ask AI to take that data and put it into formulations, that that we want to produce that takes some time to produce. So that's like your graphs and charts and that sort of thing. And then you can move on to doing personalized marketing based on that market research. So a lot of times we're doing kind of more target marketing. We're reaching out to certain groups, and we can really hone in on that data. You know, so if we have 200 potential customers and 10 are in one particular data set and another 15 are in another particular data set, that is all information that we can grab so much quicker and easier. Content creation is just really just exponentially easier to do with AI. Again, as long as we have those prompts that we need, going back to making sure that we have our brands really set, we're honed in on what we know that our brand is. And then we can, one of the things that we're going to talk about later on in another little webinar snippet is talking about chatbots. And you can actually have chatbots available for customer support that answer specific questions. Customer support, I think some people don't realize, is also part of that marketing plan of that strategy, is making sure that your current customers are happy and they're satisfied. They're getting their questions answered, as well as getting their product or service. So AI-powered chatbots can handle customer inquiries 24/7. We see this, again, we see this a lot, even in social media. We see prompts from messaging on Facebook or on Instagram, where if we ask a question, there's an answer back, and it doesn't matter, you know, what time it is during the day or night. So what should be in your tool belt? I use a tool, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I use a tool called Poe.com, and Poe.com actually has a suite of tools that do include ChatGPT. I also use DALL-E. There's Midjourney. There's other chat options as well, and there are other bots that are kind of in the more open prompt sphere. Open source is really something that's very prominent right now. And because this is working so quickly, a lot of people will, and organizations and platforms will put bots out there for people to grab as they need. The simplest way to say how to prompt is to just be explicit. Be very, very clear and detailed as far as what your needs are. And you want to iterate what that is and then reframe it as well within the same prompt. So a prompt that would not be too clear or be too general is create a marketing plan for my company. Okay. That is almost comically simple, but I just wanted to show, you know, what a too simple prompt would be. So I'm actually going to go over to Poe, and I'm going to make sure we see that.
It's not there yet.
Yes,
okay. Not there.
I'm going to stop. I think what I have to do in Microsoft Teams is stop sharing and then reshare again. So I'll do that.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So this is what my Poe looks like, right? And I have my Poe assistant right here. There's image creators also over here. This actually is my search bar that I've been using quite often. So right in the middle, underneath the Poe logo is what I've been talking about. I actually created a course on AI utilizing AI. So here I'm going to just say develop and if I can spell correctly, I can spell a marketing plan for the year 2025, right? So lovely, okay? It created a marketing plan, but look at how generalized it is, right? So it's the executive summary, overview of the business, brief description of the company, objectives, industry trends, SWOT analysis. It has all the components there, but this is not a marketing plan that I'm going to, if I'm a marketing director, I'm not going to give this plan to my boss. If I'm an agency, I'm not going to give this plan to my client. However, if I go back into my generative bar, and I say, oh, let me see, what kind of product or service? Develop a marketing plan for a co-working space in the heart of New Haven that caters to up and coming solopreneurs who need a space, mostly 9 to 5, but we'll be working some late nights. Okay, I've given some detail there. These clients will be most likely use public transportation, bikes, and walk over. And they'll definitely want to have plenty of coffee and snacks. So now we have a little bit more detail as we're moving along. Okay, so here's our plan. Our analysis, including industry trends, target audience, competitor analysis. But again, we're still not quite there. So see how we are working together, right? Me and my assistant and I, right? My AI assistant and I are going back and forth. I'm asking for something and it's giving me what I am asking for plus a little bit more, right? But I want even more than that. So, fun fact, AI loves to be complimented. So I'm going to say thanks a bunch because that's my voice. I am really feeling like this is close to what I want. Now look what it just asked me here. If you have any specific areas you'd like to tweak or expand upon, or if you need further assistance with any aspect of the marketing plan, feel free to let me know. All right, thank you. So I'm gonna scroll on up here and I am going to say, what would a campaign look like if I wanted to reach those potential clients that are 25 to 40 years old and are mainly in the tech field? What tools would generally be used? what's a good brand voice and graphics that would really grab them? So again, more and more detail. What does social media look like? What does email marketing look like? What does paid advertising look like? This is a conversation. And soon enough, with a little bit more prompting from me and a little bit more detail, we'll have a marketing plan. So that's what that would look like. So I'm going to have a little fun with the next prompt. And I'm going to go to my image creators. And I'm just going to get a little goofball. So I'm going to say, show me an image of a co-working space in that looks futuristic and has some fun steampunk vibe to it. And lots of color. And curvy furniture. And it's thinking, thinking, thinking. That's what my image looks like. So it's a general image. This is not something where we're looking at right now where I'm uploading images of the actual space that I'm in or the street that I'm on or anything like that. But I'm giving the image creator something to go by. And I can even enhance this image as well. So this was just a quick little exercise and a little bit of information on how to utilize prompts to get what you need out of a marketing plan.
Well, Julie,
So
I just have to say, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
And I was going to say, this is really interesting stuff that you're showing right here, because a lot of people don't realize what Poe is and what Poe can do. So the fact that you're very specific about setting prompts, adding details, being kind to it, AI to a certain extent is an extent of you. You are the tool, you are the intelligence. So you should treat it with respect if you expect to get certain results of quality out of it. So I'm glad you were able to talk about that, because a lot of people don't do that when they integrate and apply AI to their life or their business.
Yeah, and I think, the really important thing is, and the thing that I've been learning as well, and the thing that I've been telling people too, as I'm helping them with this is, there are agencies out there too that will help with the brand voice and knowing what that brand voice is and knowing what your personal brand is, right? So I feel that my personal brand it's informational, but it's also conversational. I inject a little bit of humor. I try to break things down to very understandable bite-sized pieces. There's a certain cadence, right? So it's just like, am I going to be formal or informal? Is there going to be a little bit of humor? And you see that nowadays in, even in the way that we craft an email, right? We're utilizing AI tools in Gmail or in Outlook or in Canva, where the prompt will come from the tool or the platform. So if I'm writing an email, and you've seen this too, and you're writing an email, and you'll see something pop up that'll say, "Should I rewrite this? Do you want to make this more formal? Do you want to make it more informal?" So just being aware of what those prompts are, but when we're getting into tools like ChatGPT, or when we're getting into tools like Poe.com, where there's a variety of tools, just understanding that there are several things that we're looking at from the perspective of, you know, how we are prompting. And I think I have just like one more slide about the prompt that just kind of wraps up what that means. And when I was explaining it, I was really doing, you know, I was going through the motions of what this particular slide says, right? I think this is the slide, that it's all in the prompt. You simulate a persona. Is the persona you, or is it the client? My client is looking for this. I am looking to convey this. You create the task for your AI bot or twin, or, you know, whatever it is, however you're using it. Explain the steps needed to complete that task, right? So that could be a bullet point list that you drop in, or you can even convey your prompt via voice as well. You could give a voice prompt. State the goal, be very clear as to what the goal is, and then review and expand. And I did all those things when I was doing those actual prompts. All right.
Well, Julia, I just want to say thank you so much for breaking down how to use AI to help out if someone's an entrepreneur, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize that AI is a very important tool that can assist them. You shouldn't be afraid of it, but you should still be humble enough and willing to learn these tools so that it can be a part of your, if not daily routine, just a part of your life to some extent. So I just want to say thank you for your time and knowledge, and just your willingness to share this with our listeners.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning into part one of our webinar series about AI. I look forward to seeing you all in part two, when Julia is going to talk about building a persona through AI, and I think it's going to be really great. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video.